All right. Hang on. I had a burp. Young man writes, "Hi, Aaron. Please keep my country and name private. All right. Um, I know you had 300 plus women, so I'm assuming I'm talking to the right pervert. No, I big slight misunderstanding. I've dated over 300 women. I have only slept with 31 or 32. I can't exactly remember which. Um, there may have been alcohol where I'm like, did we? Can't remember. Um, so yeah, I've dated 300 plus women. I have only slept with just above 30. Questions: any tips on how to lower a crazy high sex drive? First off, I'm not some guy that jerks off 5 times a day. I'm 19, work 2 jobs, I have hobbies, and I work out, but it keeps getting in the way of me doing what I need to do. I get laid a lot, and by now I'm sick of the hassle and the BS that comes along with dating chicks all the time just for short relief of my inner demons. I know it is normal for guys my age to jump everything that's not on a tree within 3 seconds. Well, it was normal, and now there's so much soy in young men's diets. Probably not yours. That most men are not doing that. Most men are just playing video games and going to the prawn. But I wonder if there is a healthy way of lowering a sex drive that's off the charts, or at least a way to help my mind off of it to focus on the important stuff in life. Name your price. And okay, that's a good question. Well, one, uh, if you have a higher than average sex drive, and we're not just talking because you're 19, but like it is actually off the charts, and you can measure, get your testosterone tested. Uh, it could be a biological, a physical, I wouldn't say problem, but a physical phenomenon. In which case, you've got to talk to a doctor. I'm no doctor. I don't know what treatments are out there. I'm sure there's a medical condition of like a overly high sex drive, and since it's starting to affect other aspects of your life, maybe you want to go talk to a doctor. It could be psychological, but a 19-year-old guy is horny. It's like, well, I don't know. You know, I don't think you're schizophrenic just yet. But I would definitely talk to a doctor, see if it's something biophysiological. Maybe your hormones are whacked, whatever. So that might be one answer. Another answer could be psychological. I'm a little less, I'm more skeptical of that because, frankly, I don't believe, uh, well, I would say only maybe a quarter of people who claim to have some kind of mental illness or mental problem actually do have a real one. Dude, you could just be a 19-year-old horny guy. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as take illegal action upon it. Um, but that's maybe another shot. I would recommend you go talk to Dr. David Maloney at histherapist.com. It's $100 an hour. He'd be able to answer, or maybe not answer in 1 hour, but he'd definitely be able to ask you some questions. Say, like, sex addiction, that kind of thing. Maybe what percentage of people have sex addiction? Well, that's every guy in the world, pretty much. Um, but maybe that's something I want to talk to him about. And then there's, I'm sure, some research or uh, medical documentation on how to treat it. As for what I can do, since I'm neither a psychologist or a doctor, what I would do, oh, work out a lot. I know you already work out and you got your hobbies. Um, I'd focus on your job, go to school, blah blah blah. I would keep having sex with the girls. There's nothing wrong with that because inevitably everything loses its novelty. Uh, but it just be prepared, dude. You may be wired that way, and you're just gonna have to suffer. It's gonna be discipline. You're just gonna have to find other things to do, not think about it all the time. Uh, I'm not exactly against you jerking. I would do it 5 times a day. Then you do have a problem. But yeah, at 19, you're doing better than most of us old timers did. At 19, we're still confused. But here, you're like, these girls are a pain in the ass. Like, yeah, we figured that out. Some it took 2, 3, 4 divorces. They're like, hey, wait a second now. These girls are kind of a pain in the ass. Um, I also argue that's more of a function of you being 19, where, I mean, they're just young girls and they have really no life experience. So I can imagine you dating within your group. Yeah, teenage girls, just as teenage boys are pretty effing stupid, and all of you are a pain in the ass. So, yeah, you're just gonna, barring something biophysically wrong with you, like, okay, take this drug or take this diet, and bar something genuinely psychologically wrong with you, practice these meditations, take this drug, whatever Dr. Maloney would recommend. But when it comes to just a guy who has a problem, well, all guys who have problems, you're the one that's got to solve it. And so, actions beyond that recommended to you by the psychology or medical profession: work out, get a new hobby, um, sit down, figure out why is it that you, I mean, well, yeah, every guy likes sex. Um, Try to force yourself to go without it. I mean, almost treat it like an addiction. And it might be sex addiction. I'm not saying it isn't. Uh, but, like, no, go cold turkey. You're just not having sex for a month or whatever a long time is for you. And then prepare for the pain, because your body and mind is obviously wired for what's already wired for it to begin with. Sounds like it's super wired for it in your individual case. But yeah, aside from what would be running, lifting weights, um, I mean, just get dead tired so you go to bed. Um, don't, use some prawn, rub one out. Just try to not have to go a whole month without it. See what happens. And if none of that worked, I guess you're just going to have to suffer and deal with it. There's not really, I mean, not really a solution. The solution would be have more sex, but since you want to scale back on that, it's like, oh, I don't know. And here's another thing: forgive yourself. There's nothing wrong with having a high sex drive. There's a lot worse things. So there you go. But I wish I could answer it more, but talk to Dr. Maloney. And why you research, you don't have to spend money, but why don't you research sex addiction? Why don't you research, other people might have, why do I have such a high sex drive? But I would definitely go talk to your doctor. Absolutely. He or she may have an idea, like, oh, we'll do some, oh yeah, this is common, or we got a blood test. Like, whoa, okay, now we know what your problem. Dude, it could be some indicative of something else too. I'm no doctor, but go talk to the doctor, the physical doctor, and see what they say, and then maybe go talk to Maloney. Histherapist.com. I do not get paid to promote it. I'm just a good guy. Atham, $2, 4 rounds so far, going fifth soon. She need a break. Yeah, Atham, he's okay with his high sex drive. The goddamn Bacon, 223, in before the no fap retention crowd shows up. I was listening to the Dick Show, and they had a guy, 16-year-old kid, just lying. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, aholeconsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.